Level 1, the debt. You're 22 years old. You gamble too much. Poker, sports betting. You owe $12,000 to people you shouldn't owe anything to. Your credit cards are maxed. Your car got repossessed. Your girlfriend left. You're working as a bouncer at a strip club making $9 an hour. One night, a regular at the club pulls you aside. Big guy, expensive suit, gold watch. He knows you're in trouble. He makes you an offer. There's a guy. He owes them money too. A lot more than you. He's not paying. They need him scared. Really scared. You don't have to kill him, just hurt him. Bad enough that he understands. They'll wipe out half your debt. 6,000 gone. Just like that. You think about it for 3 seconds. You say yes. They give you a baseball bat and an address. You show up at 2 a.m. The guy's walking to his car from a bar. You don't say a word. You just swing. His kneecap cracks. He's screaming. You hit him twice more. Ribs, shoulder. Then you walk away. Your hands are shaking. Your heart is pounding. But your debt just got cut in half. Welcome to the bottom. Level 2, the enforcer. You're 25 years old. That first beating led to another, then another. You've become the guy they call when someone needs a lesson. You're not a hitman yet. You're muscle. An enforcer. You break legs. You burn down businesses that won't pay protection money. You drag people into alleys and make them understand consequences. The organization you work for is a mid-level crime syndicate, drug trafficking, illegal gambling, loan sharking. They need guys like you to keep order. You make about $800 a week. That's cash, tax-free, delivered in an envelope every Friday. It's more than you've ever made in your life. You also get respect. When you walk into certain bars, people move out of your way. But there's a cost. You can't sleep well anymore. Every time a car backfires, you think it's gunfire. You check over your shoulder constantly. The police know your face. They've pulled you in for questioning twice. They can't prove anything yet, but they're watching. Then one day, your boss calls you in. There's a problem. A witness. Some guy saw one of their dealers make a drop. He's scheduled to testify in 3 weeks. Your boss hands you a photo. This isn't a beating. This is permanent. You're 25 years old, and someone is asking you to become a murderer. The pay is $5,000. You have 2 days to think about it. You don't sleep at all. Level 3, the button man. You took the job. The witness never made it to court. You shot him twice in the head in a parking garage. The gun they gave you was clean, untraceable. You wore gloves. You left no evidence. You threw the gun in a river 30 miles away. You collected your $5,000. You vomited in a gas station bathroom for 20 minutes afterward. But you did it. Now you're a button man. That's what they call you in the organization. Someone who's proven they can pull the trigger. You're 27 years old. You've killed 3 people. The second one was a rival drug dealer. The third was an informant who was talking to the FBI. Each one got a little easier, not because you stopped feeling, but because you learned to shut it off, to compartmentalize. The target isn't a person anymore. It's a problem, a job, a payday. Criminal psychologists call this reframing. You're seeing victims as targets. It's how you survive this mentally. You make about $15,000 per hit now, plus your regular weekly envelope. You're pulling in over $100,000 a year. You have a nice apartment, a new car, designer clothes, but you can never tell anyone what you really do. Your family thinks you're in waste management. Your friends from high school think you own a landscaping company. You've mastered the art of lying, art of having 2 lives, one public, one hidden. But the FBI is building a case. They have surveillance photos of you meeting with known mobsters. They have informants watching. You don't know it yet, but you're already on their radar. Level 4, the specialist. You're 32 years old. You've done 23 hits. You're no longer just muscle. You're a specialist. Organizations from different cities are requesting you by reputation. You're known for 3 things. You're clean, you're quiet, you're reliable. Most contract killings are sloppy. Guns left at the scene. Witnesses, evidence. The average hitman is an amateur who got recruited because they owed money or wanted respect. They get caught within 2 or 3 jobs. But you've studied this. You've learned from every mistake. You vary your methods. Sometimes a gun, sometimes a knife. Sometimes you make it look like an accident, a car crash, a fall, a drowning. You never use your real name. You have 3 fake IDs. You pay for everything in cash. You never use your cell phone anywhere near a job. You've become what criminologists call a journeyman, someone who's refined their craft. You charge $25,000 per hit now. Sometimes 30 if the target is difficult. You're making over $300,000 a year, but you're also completely isolated. You can't have real relationships. You can't trust anyone. You had a girlfriend once. She started asking too many questions about your travel, about the cash, about the calls at 3 a.m. You had to end it. You can't afford attachments. Attachment makes you weak. Attachment gives them leverage. The FBI is circling closer. They've flipped someone in the organization. You don't know who yet, but someone is talking. Level 5. The professional. You're 38 years old. You've killed over 40 people. You've crossed the line from specialist to professional. You're what researchers classify as a master hitman. At this level, killing is purely transactional. Zero emotion. You've suppressed every feeling, every moral consideration. This is business. You charge $50,000 per contract, sometimes $75,000. Once you charged $100,000 for a federal witness who was in protective custody. That job took 3 months of planning. You tracked his movements. You learned his routines under his new identity. You waited for the perfect moment. One shot, high-powered rifle, 800 yards. He never knew what hit him. You were in another state by nightfall. You've refined every aspect of your operation. You rent apartments under false names and keep them empty. Safe houses. You have weapons stashed in 3 different cities. You have fake passports, offshore bank accounts in the Cayman Islands. You've built an infrastructure for murder, but you're not free. You're trapped in this life. You've thought about getting out, taking your money and disappearing, but you know too much. You've worked for too many dangerous people. The only way out is in a body bag or in federal prison. And there's another problem. You're starting to feel nothing. Not just about the targets, about everything. Food has no taste. Music sounds like noise. You can't remember the last time you laughed. You've killed so many people that you're not sure you're fully human anymore. Clinical psychologists who've studied hitmen like you call it emotional detachment. It's a survival mechanism, but it's also a prison. Level 6, the ghost. You're 45 years old. You're at the peak. You've committed over 70 murders across 15 years. You've never been arrested, never been charged, never even been questioned. Law enforcement knows you exist. They have a file on you, but they don't have your real name. They don't have photos. They don't have witnesses. You're a ghost. You charge $100,000 per hit, minimum. For high-profile targets, you charge more. A corrupt judge, a cartel leader, a CEO who knows too much. You've killed in 12 different states and 4 countries. You speak 3 languages. You have 6 different aliases. You own nothing in your real name. No property, no vehicles, no bank accounts. Everything is layers, shell corporations, trusts, intermediaries. You never meet clients directly. Everything goes through brokers. People who connect those who want someone dead with people like you. They take a cut, usually 20%, but it's worth it. It keeps you insulated. The FBI's Violent Criminal Apprehension Program has a task force dedicated to contract killers. They've studied patterns, linked unsolved murders across jurisdictions. They know you're out there. They've gotten close a few times. Surveillance footage from a hotel lobby 3 hours before a hit, a partial fingerprint on a glass, DNA from a cigarette butt. But you're always 2 steps ahead. You change your appearance constantly. Hair color, facial hair, colored contacts. You wear gloves everywhere. You never smoke. You've become obsessive about leaving 0 trace. But there's a cost. You live in constant paranoia. You sleep with a gun under your pillow. You never stay in the same place more than 3 nights. You have no friends, no family, no connections to anyone. You've traded your humanity for survival. And deep down, you know it can't last forever. Level 7, the myth. You're 52 years old. You've been doing this for 25 years. You've killed over 100 people, maybe more. You've lost count. Law enforcement has given up trying to find you. You're too careful, too professional, too elusive. You've become a myth, a story that criminals tell each other. The hitman who never misses, who never leaves evidence, who never gets caught. Organizations pay you $250,000 per contract, sometimes $500,000 for particularly dangerous targets. You've killed mob bosses, cartel leaders, politicians, foreign agents. You don't ask questions. You don't care about motive. Money is the only thing that matters. You have $18 million in offshore accounts. You could retire tomorrow, buy a villa in Costa Rica, disappear completely, but you won't, because this is all you know. This is all you are. You have no identity outside of being a killer. No hobbies, no interests, no purpose beyond the next contract. You've also started making mistakes, small ones. A traffic camera caught your rental car near a crime scene. You used the same hotel chain twice in 1 month. You're getting older, slower, less sharp, and there's someone new, younger, hungrier, coming up behind you. The same organizations that pay you are grooming someone to replace you. Because in this business, everyone is replaceable. Everyone. Level 8, the hunted. It finally happened. The FBI got a break. An informant gave them your real name, not an alias, your actual birth name, the one you haven't used in 20 years. They connected you to 4 murders through forensic evidence. DNA, ballistics, financial records showing payments that line up with hits. They issued a federal warrant for your arrest. Murder for hire, racketeering, conspiracy. You're looking at life without parole. Multiple life sentences, actually. They've frozen your bank accounts. They've raided your safe houses. They've plastered your photo on every news channel and FBI website. You're 54 years old, and you're the most wanted man in America. You're on the run, hiding in motels, paying cash, growing a beard. You can't use credit cards, can't use your phone, can't contact anyone from your old life. You're completely alone. You crossed into Mexico, then Guatemala. You're trying to get to a country without extradition, somewhere you can disappear, but the net is closing. Interpol has been notified. Foreign law enforcement is looking for you. The cartels you once worked for have heard you're a fugitive. Some of them want to help you. Others see you as a liability, a loose end. You have enemies everywhere, people you've wronged, families of people you've killed, organizations that think you might flip to save yourself. You sleep 2 hours a night. Every sound makes you jump. Every stranger could be an agent. Every car could be surveillance. This is what the end looks like. Level 9, the captured. They got you. Guatemalan police working with the DEA raided the hotel where you were staying. You didn't even fight. You just put your hands up. You were tired. So tired. They extradited you back to the United States. The trial was 8 months long. The prosecution presented overwhelming evidence. Witness testimony from informants, forensic evidence from crime scenes, financial records, surveillance footage. The jury deliberated for 3 hours, guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced you to 6 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. You're 56 years old and you'll die in prison. They sent you to ADX Florence, the Supermax prison in Colorado. 23 hours a day in a concrete cell. 1 hour of exercise in a concrete box. No human contact, no sunlight, no freedom. You sit in your cell and think about all the people you killed, all the lives you destroyed, all the families you shattered, and you feel nothing. No remorse, no regret, just emptiness. Because you killed your humanity years ago. There are between 50 and 200 active contract killers operating in the United States right now. Most will get caught. Some will die in gang wars or cartel violence. A tiny fraction will successfully retire and disappear. But all of them end the same way, either in prison or in the ground. You're a cautionary tale now, a case study, a teaching tool for law enforcement. You thought you were smart, careful, professional. But you were just another criminal who got caught. There's a new kid out there right now, 22 years old, in debt to the wrong people, about to take his first contract, about to start the exact same path you took, and the cycle continues forever.